Bill Edward will be our first inductee, and I have been told now, in the history of the UMass Dartmouth Corsair Hall of Fame, I can tell you, there has never been a successful dual presentation. And I told Bill Edward, I told Kevin Phelan and Daryl Manchester, it has never been done before. But Kevin Phelan, a former Hall of Famer, he's pulling rank and he's telling me that he can do it and that Daryl can do it. So without further ado, I introduce to you the dual presenters for their friend Bill Edward, attorney Kevin Phelan and Daryl Manchester.
Hello, everyone. We thought we'd double team Billy tonight since we really fought through a lot of those when he was playing basketball back at SMU or SMTI. Actually, I'm from SMTI. Kevin nominated, or called me a couple months ago and wanted to nominate Billy, and I said, that's really, I think, an easy choice. And so Billy was nominated and accepted, and Kevin called me a couple weeks ago and said, we have to present him. So here we are. But I thought about it for the last week or so, and what I was going to say, and I'm saying, Kevin, I don't know if I'm really the right guy who should be doing this. And he said, what are you talking about? I said, well, don't you remember 42 years ago? And he said, I almost didn't remember to come tonight, didn't I, 42 years ago? Well, I was a year ahead of Bill, and I was playing my freshman year. I played quite a bit, and there was a couple of Hall of Famers from the school, Jerry Marksley and Stretch Dupre, and we had, a lot of offense on that team, and so my job was just bring the ball to the floor. Well, the next year, we show up, and only Jerry's back, and the offense is kind of down, and my 4 or 5 point average is not going to make it. So Billy arrived on the scene, and I think the Coach Pacheco at that time made a very astute decision and put Billy in. So I think what I want to tell you is I'm going to take credit for Billy's Hall of Fame. But Billy is all over Hall of Fame. And, Billy came right out of Durfee High School. And if you know anything about Durfee High School basketball, Skippy Karam produced a lot of great players, and what they were fundamentally sound players. Billy, he was the real deal. He could have every asset of his ballgame. Billy, was a good ball handler, passed the ball, good passer, 90% foul shooter, could shoot off the dribble and could shoot the step back jump shot. And quite frankly, if we had the 3-point shot back then, Billy's numbers would have been exceedingly higher. But I think Billy actually shot better the farther he got away from the basket, and that's really the truth. But Billy and I became close friends for those 3 years. We remained close friends through the years, and I'm really proud to be here this evening and to be part of Billy's celebration.
I think it's truly a testament to Billy as a person that most of our basketball team is here tonight to share in this celebration for Billy. Billy is sort of short, and when you play basketball, that can be a problem. You get your shot blocked. Billy had a quick release, and it was excellent at that. And in sports, it isn't always the size of the person; it's the heart of the person. And that reminds me of a story. A fella goes into the bar, and he has a dog about this high. It was a funny color brown and had a chopped off tail. And he came into the bar, and no one paid it much attention because it wasn't a very large dog. Well, a couple of minutes later, someone comes in with a Great Dane. It has a big collar on it, and everyone's looking at the Great Dane and saying, look at the size of that dog. A couple of minutes later, in comes someone with the Irish Wolfhound. The same thing, they're all looking at the huge Irish Wolfhound. Look at the size of that dog. And meanwhile, everyone is saying which dog would win in a fight. So anyway, the owners get into it. My dog's tougher, let's take it outside. So sure enough, they go outside, and the fellow with the little dog says, hey, could my dog get into this? And they look, yeah, sure. So off they go. In comes, after the fight, they come back in. The fellow with the Great Dane goes walking through. All he has is the collar. In comes the guy with the Irish Wolfhound shortly thereafter. He has his collar. In comes the guy with the little dog, who's walking in, sits down, and wins the bet. And everyone comes over to him, and they say, geez, we've never seen a dog fight like that before. What kind of dog is that? And he said, well, before I painted him brown and chopped off his tail, he was an alligator. So it doesn't always matter the size of the person or the size of the animal. But Billy is someone who I've known my whole life. I've thought the world of my whole life. He's been a dear, dear friend to me. And like I said, testament to him. The whole team was here sharing this with him. He scored over 1,000 points, and really, as great of an athlete he was a better person. So I think the committee really got it right, and congratulations to Billy, and wish him the best of luck.
Well, thank you, Daryl and Kevin. I was a little concerned, not about Daryl saying things about me, but having Kevin up there, I was a little nervous. But thank you, Kevin. It was very nice, and Daryl, I appreciate that. I kind of had a lot of notes and things I was going to say, but I listened to Jim. I said, we'll keep it brief. So I'm going to keep it brief. I grew up in Fall River in the 60s, and I'll tell you, basketball was king. The Celtics were winning championships every year. Durfee High School always had great teams, and that's what you wanted to be when you were a kid in Fall River. You wanted to be a basketball player. I was fortunate. I was able to play at Durfee with some great coaching, Stan Kupiak and the legend Skip Karam. They really drilled in the fundamentals, teamwork. It was a great background for basketball, and it was a good career there at Durfee. In my senior year, we had a nice team, and we were Bristol County League champs, and we're undefeated in the league, and that was really an important time in my life. Then, following that, I stayed close to home and played ball at the time SMU, now UMass Dartmouth. It was a great time. My coach, John Pacheco, was a great mentor. It was kind of a shock going from high school to college ball. I remember in my freshman year, one of the teams we were playing at the time, I think it was Quinnipiac, the opposing guards, here I am at 5'10", the two guards we're playing against are both 6'5". So it was a little bit different. We tried hard, we played hard, and did the best we could. I'm starting to stutter here, so okay, we'll knock that off. I was fortunate to play with a great group of guys: Kevin, Daryl, John Crow, Mike Roy, Tom Vienna. We had a lot of guys, and it was a good time in my life. Just playing the game we loved. That's what we wanted to do. We just played hard, played the game we loved, and hopefully we came up with a couple of W's. So I won't go into any specifics about my career. You can read that brief thing in the... I couldn't read it because I didn't have my glasses. One note I would like to say, I had the fortune of being co-captain with Daryl in my junior year, and Kevin Phelan. He and I were co-captains in my senior year. We had a special... when Kevin and I were co-captains, it was kind of special. We were voted the ugliest co-captains in college basketball history that year. Kevin? Wrapping up, I'd just like to say thanks to a lot of people. First of all, I'd like my family. Mom and Dad, I know you're up there watching me tonight. Thank you for everything you did. I'm fortunate to have my two sisters, my brother, my sister-in-law, my wife, and my mother-in-law here tonight for a special occasion. It's great having you here. Thank you very much. I mentioned some coaches. I had wonderful coaches in high school, and then Coach Pacheco, and then Coach Wheeler here at UMass Dartmouth. I was fortunate to have them as coaches. Got to learn quite a bit. And also tonight I have some old friends here that were nice enough to come down and join us for the occasion. Some of us, like Kevin mentioned, we go back to grammar school. And it's those old friendships you really cherish. And finally, the teammates. I'll tell you, great bunch of guys. We enjoyed it, and I thank you for being here. Last, I guess, thank you very much for honoring me tonight. Thank you to the selection committee. And Jim, I hope I kept that brief.
Bill Edward takes direction very well. The happiest moment for every